Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Zork, specifically its inner workings, as detailed in a recent Medium article. Get ready for a technical deep dive.
I'm stoked. So, this article isn't just about playing Zork, it's about dissecting its code, right? What's the core takeaway?
Exactly. The author, after a seemingly whimsical idea to use Zork as a Kubernetes test, ended up meticulously studying over 15,000 lines of Zork's source code. It's a wild ride.
15,000 lines? Wow. What language was it written in?
Initially, it was MDL, a functional language similar to LISP, for the PDP-10 mainframe. But then, a madman, as the author puts it, ported it to Fortran for the PDP-11, making it much more portable. Later, Infocom used their own language, ZIL, for commercial releases on platforms like the TRS-80 and Apple II.
So multiple versions, multiple languages. How did the author even get access to the code?
Pure luck. The Zork I codebase was on GitHub, along with manuals for ZIL and the Z-Machine. Talk about a treasure trove. The author also had access to the original MIT source code, written in MDL.
Amazing. So what's the architecture like? I'm guessing it's not object-oriented, given the era.
You're right, it's not object-oriented in the modern sense. But it's incredibly clever. The core is a parser that breaks down player input into three variables: PRSA, action; PRSO, direct object; and PRSI, indirect object. Think attack troll with sword. Attack is PRSA, troll is PRSO, and sword is PRSI.
I see. So it's all about dissecting the sentence structure. But how does it handle the game world itself?
That's where the game objects come in. Everything locations, items, even characters, is a game object with properties like name, description, and actions. These objects are organized in a hierarchical tree structure, defining their locations within the game world.
An object tree. That's elegant, even if it's not explicitly object-oriented. And how do the actions work?
Each object has an associated action, essentially a callback function, triggered when the object is referenced in the player's input. The parser uses the object tree and a syntax table to find the appropriate actions to execute based on the player's command.
So the syntax table defines the valid command structures, like attack object with object? That's a really interesting way to handle the grammar of the game.
Precisely. The author even points out some amusing details, like the XYZ Easter egg and a rather inappropriate command that wouldn't fly today. There's also a hilarious bit about the inventory limit, where the game randomly decides if you're carrying too much.
Oh, I have to read that. Randomness in a game mechanic from that era? That's bold. What about the code itself? Any other interesting tidbits?
Oh, tons. The author discusses the code's comments, which sometimes act as a rudimentary version control system, showing changes and additions over time. It's a fascinating glimpse into the development process of a classic game.
This is incredible. It's not just a technical deep dive, it's a historical and cultural one, too. It shows how much has changed in game development, but also how some core principles remain.
Absolutely. The author even mentions porting the game to Go and potentially React/Redux. It's a testament to the enduring appeal of Zork's design. And that's all the time we have for today's Tech Bytes and News. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the surprisingly complex world of Zork. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.